Heather McDonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Woo woo. Heather McDonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. Well, I have so many juicy topics and discussions to have today. I can't wait for you guys to listen. But first, let me just remind you about my shows. You guys, I am coming to Tampa on June 20th and Orlando on June 21st. These are so fun. I have so many juicy things to talk to you about. It'll be hilarious. I hope you guys all come. That is at heathermcdonald.net. And then the next show is July 27th in San Diego at Humphreys by the Bay. And I hope you guys come to that one. And all of them are at heathermcdonald.net. And now let's get into it. Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I made Brandy and Julie of Dumb Gay Podcast, the Dumb Gay Podcast. They're going to stay because I still had some more topics and I wanted to talk a little bit more. Welcome back, girls.
Thank you. It's like so weird being harassed all the time.
Harassed
Heather.
by what? By me?
Heather.
This is still one of those crimes that just boggles my mind and makes me scared to go to Italy. But I am going to Italy, so let me know all your good recommendations. No, Amanda Knox, to remind you guys of this incredible, horrible tragedy. She was there. It was just after college, or she was studying there. And she is American, and she had a roommate, and one night she came home and went to bed, I think, with the boyfriend. And the next morning they woke up and saw that the roommate was brutally murdered. And based on some of the things that happened with her, they saw video of her kissing her boyfriend, and while the cops were there, and that looked bad. The story is very long. She went on trial. She was behind bars for years. In Italy, they did, people felt that she was sex shamed for, having sex, and they thought that she was in love with, there was all these different stories that went around. However, she finally got out. She's finally home, and there were movies and everything.
She was called like the angel-faced killer, or she had a name because she was so beautiful and angelic and young. And everybody was captivated. And the boyfriend looked like Harry Potter. And she was obsessed with Harry Potter. And he wore the glasses.
They thought some of the theories were that they did some
like a
S&M
satanic
thing with her and with her roommate. And they were involved and all these different stories. And it was very scary because right at the initial questioning, she apparently didn't have like a proper interpreter. And she wasn't fluent in the language. Terrifying.
Mm.
But Knox initially accused Patrick, who worked at the restaurant with her boss, of the murder, but later recanted. Her prolonged interrogation without interpreter was deemed a violation of her rights by the European Court of Human Rights in 2023. Knox's recent reconviction upholds her original 3-year sentence for slander. So she was convicted of slander, because although she will not return to prison due to the already serving 4 years during the initial incarceration, I can't believe she did 4 years. Knox's legal team plans to appeal the latest decision to Italy's Supreme Court. Despite her ongoing legal struggles, Knox has since moved on with her life, getting engaged, starting a family, and becoming an advocate for criminal justice. So because she said, I think that this Patrick Mamundo is who she thought may have done it. That is why he then sued her for slander.
I would be pointing at anyone in my life and be like, it wasn't me. I don't know. Maybe it was my boss at the bar. Maybe it was my neighbor. Now you're slandering because you're just trying to solve the crime for them.
Who was it eventually? They did eventually find the guy, right?
Yes.
And he was just like kind of a random guy.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really know her or anything, right?
No. And he had been like, they might have met he didn't know Amanda Knox, but he knew
it was
the roommate.
not the manager at the restaurant.
No.
And that is who originally, she was like, yeah, I don't know.
Which is why he's suing for slander. But that has to be.
It wasn't suing, though. She was convicted of slander. Like,
I don't know what the Italian government's problem is with her.
I don't think you can be convicted of slander in America. You could be sued and the jury could say, yes, you're guilty. Like we did with Johnny Depp. But I guess in Italy, it can be a real crime. However, she won't ever have to come back here.
Because she already served.
Yeah, well, I don't know what their obsession is with her. Like, let her go. She's already done. You already know she didn't do it. And now you need to convict her of slander? We can't even get Donald Trump on slander.
I mean, at this point, if I was her, I'd be like, fine. I don't even want. I don't even appeal. I just don't care. I just don't care.
I have a criminal record in Italy and I can't visit. Happy. I never need to go there again.
I never want to go there again. Yeah.
I mean, they wear powdered wigs and run around talking about like a satanic cults. It was literally satanic panic. They were like, they did a huge thing in the middle of the ground and they did a thing. It was like, and she's like, what? I'm like, I'm 17 having sex with my boyfriend who looks like Harry Potter. Like, the only thing she was guilty of was just being like a stupid kid. It's so scary.
Do you remember that movie with Claire Danes?
Of
Brokedown Palace.
What's it called again?
Brokedown Palace.
Because that's what we're scared of.
I never. Well,
wait. In the movie Brokedown Palace, two girls.
Thailand.
But one thing that I always remember that stuck in my head is that they like went to a nice hotel and they ordered all these food and drinks by the pool and they lied about the room number. And that somehow played into them being held and caught because they did have drugs on them, right?
Yeah.
But was it because they went to the fancy hotel and just tried to like enjoy a pool day for free?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And then they got,
which always scares the shit out of me. I'm always like, oh my God, because when we were at the Pachanga, they were very strict about going to the pool. You know, it literally held my ID. Okay, made sure I was at the hotel, held my ID, and I said to my sister, I go, I just think they have to be this way because. Imagine if you and I were like young and we lived near the Pachanga and we were like, oh my God, it's fucking 100 degrees out. Let's just sneak into the pool and like use it and enjoy it. So they have to be that strict. But then I brought up the Brokedown Palace thing.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my God, those girls just wanted free drinks at like a fancy hotel in Thailand.
That's why I get so stressed out. When we went to Egypt and Jordan and this trip and they were on the ship, they were like, don't be sorry, but you can't be, this is not even drugs or anything. This is just like not being gay. Just don't be outwardly gay.
Yeah.
In these places because you'll get arrested. And sorry.
And that's when her name became Julio.
Okay. Because I'm not putting
I was like, come on, Julio, this is fun. Put your head thing on. I don't even want to go to Singapore because I'll chew one gum and get, caned and be detained in jail. Like,
I mean, even Brittany Grenier or whatever, who had the hemp flakes or whatever she had in Russia, it's like, now she says that she forgot that she had it. But let's say a person didn't forget and they thought they could travel with it. It's like, you can't.
No, let's say you forgot.
Or let's say you forgot.
You have a vape. I mean, who knows what's.
Right.
And now you're in Russia.
Or it's like there was that other guy, and I don't know the details of this, but they were in the Bahamas. And I think in some old suitcase or whatever, he had some ammunition. He did not have a gun with him. He had the ammunition. And it's like from some hunting trip or something. But you know what I mean? Like you have a suitcase and there's one little zipper in the corner of like whatever. And you don't. So like be careful of all that stuff.
I'll constantly be like, oh my God, there's my dry shampoo. Haven't seen that since a trip last summer.
Right.
Because you forget to open like a zipper.
Yeah.
I mean, even we went, this is 100 years ago, on a trip to somewhere in, I don't know if it was Jamaica. It was somewhere in like a Caribbean island. And it was a lesbian cruise. So this was a long, long time ago. And it was like, you can't bring any sex toys. And Julie and I were like, it's a whole shipload of women who are lesbians.
Are you kidding?
And you say they can't bring sex toys? And people are going to what now? Get a fine, go to jail? Because it's like there's going to be nothing but sex toys on this.
A lesbian cruise is nothing but 5 vibrators and dildos per room. So we're talking about 5,000 pieces of toys.
So wait, what happened?
Well, nothing happened to us. We didn't have any.
But did they really not bring it?
I'm sure every woman was like, well, great.
Just throw it away. Yeah. Probably throw it away at the airport.
So, like, is there just a trash can of like bottles of water and dildos?
And vibrators.
Oh my God, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Like you can't. Are you kidding?
Wow.
And you better throw that shit away. I am so scared of getting arrested for any of that stuff for any reason anywhere.
Little update on the P. Diddy. Kim Porter, who died of pneumonia,
You mean pneumonia?
Right. I think it was that or the flu. Was it a strong cold?
It was that strain of murder pneumonia.
That I'll be
Right.
sure also got.
Right.
Yeah. Her dad said, and this is disturbing, he said, well, I was shocked to see the video of, and I'm paraphrasing, of the P. Diddy attacking Cassie. I never saw him abuse my daughter that much like that. So he must have witnessed some abuse.
Well, we watched a thing on YouTube. It's a YouTube channel called Chronicle Speaks. If you don't mind, I'll just shout her out.
Yeah.
She does she reads the court case, so it's not just her.
Right.
And it was so much information about Kim Porter, this mystery surrounding her death, a time when she went onto a boat and with him, and her nose was shattered, and it was over a holiday. He brought the plastic surgeon out. Supposedly, allegedly he broke her nose like in 3 places. A plastic surgeon was brought out to onto the yacht to reconstruct her face. And then she went around.
Allegedly.
Yeah. She went around with a thing on her nose. And
Right.
after that. And then there was a bunch of information about Al B. Shore, who is an R&B artist who used to, famously, huge hits, used to date Kim Porter, who was coming on and saying that he thought her death was really out of nowhere, very mysterious. She was supposedly coming out with a book. She was about to come out with like a tell-all book. She died totally unexpectedly. And then Al B. Shore, perfectly hot and good looking and in perfect health, became in a matter of an hour in a coma for 2 months and almost lost his life, and no one could figure out why. He's just walking along, and then he just falls into a coma and has to have all of his organs.
Very Russian.
And it was
very Russian.
Yeah, it's been very, very strange. Now she is the mother of the 16-year-old twin girls.
I thought, and is that her only kids? I wasn't sure.
I want to say maybe she had one more.
Okay.
But yeah, very, very sad.
That is so.
And very strange. And we're more and more and more is coming out. Howard University, I guess, gave him an honorary degree. They have rescinded that. Nobody wants anything to do with him.
Good.
Now, Beyonce, according to page 6, where's Beyonce? Music industry wonders after Cowboy Carter's success, Diddy abuse scandal insider. So basically they're saying, we haven't heard much from her. There was rumors that she was going to show up at Stagecoach, which she never did. This Ain't Texas, Hey There Franklin song was a big hit off the bat, but we aren't really hearing much about it. And are they choosing to lay low, she and Jay-Z, because they were so close to P. Diddy and all of this, and people are connecting dots and thinking that somehow they have some shady stuff, and they're just they don't want to screw up. They are don't want to piss off anybody. They're
the internet sleuths are out there,
yeah,
connecting dots, whether they connect or not.
Right,
they're making them connect, and it's a lot about Jay-Z, which is unfortunate because we love Cowboy Carter, and it has been. I myself have been it's weird. Billie Eilish is everywhere. Taylor Swift is everywhere. Where's Beyonce? Why is Beyonce not? Because the album is good. Hey There Franklin's not the only good hit.
Yeah.
There's a few other great ones.
There sure are. Bodyguard.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I know one person that can find out what she's up to, and that's Bo Dietl.
Bo Dietl. That's right. Exactly. Where's Bo Dietl? Bo Dietl needs to be on all this.
Louis has a file on Beyonce.
Yeah,
he has a file on
P.
Jay-Z.
Diddy. Better have it on P. Diddy. And Kim Porter's dad, apparently.
So, a couple days ago in Italy, hope they don't do anything wrong. Bianca, the wife to, or we don't know if they're real wife or not, to Kanye. Now she's wearing a fully covered, it's kind of see-through, but not to the point where you see her parts or anything. It's a sheer, long, yellow dress to the ground up to the neck. So now they're going complete. The pillow was left in the car, and now she's covered. So, whatever.
I'm so sick of their bullshit.
Now, she's a lookalike to Kim. Very
look-alike.
similar face, just like Jennifer Aiden and the girl from Dubai.
Why doesn't he put her in that lion outfit that he put Northwest
Oh,
in?
well, here she is, being that you brought up the lion outfit.
Oh.
Kim made a sexy version of the lion outfit that her daughter wore. And people had mixed feelings. They were like, why not? Why are you trying to steal her thunder? Other people said she's actually trying to divert the negative thunder to herself of like, oh my God, when I grow up. I remember one time Kris Jenner said, we were like, this is years ago, and Kendall was getting her hair cut at the house. Kris had just gotten her hair cut. This is years at the first house they had. And she was going to get bangs or something. So she got bangs and she looked really cute. And then Kris said, make me look like Kendall Jenner. When I grow up, I want to look like Kendall Jenner, which is kind of cute. But that's what I kind of thought this was. I think that she was like, oh, my daughter is the star. Let me look like, like I am stepping kind of back. I don't know. It was trying to make a fun positive out of a lot of negative that she got for doing the Lion
She was
King.
trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah.
The outfit wasn't cute. It was a bust. It was a flop.
Yeah.
So there's Kim, like, I'm going to use my influence. I'm going to adjust it. Whoever the designer was, too, probably she felt like she owed them. So she's like, let me just make this happen. And it just didn't. I mean, you're not going to make it happen.
Right. And with the glasses and everything, and with the lighting of it, she does look just like her. So they look a lot alike in this. But anyway, it's Will Smith who's dating a Jada Pinkett lookalike.
Oh.
This girl she's got the shaved head. Well, her face doesn't look that much like Jada, but anyway, she has a shaved head, and she's been showing up at like premieres and stuff with him. So we don't know how serious they are, but it's a lookalike thing.
He does not age.
No.
Just like Heather, whose birthday's Friday. Ageless, frozen in time.
Thank you. So
it would be so hard to try to even.
I don't even know.
If you're with Jada Pinkett Smith, I mean, it's really pinnacles face-wise and body.
Yeah.
Well,
where do you go after that?
The flipping out people, not flipping out, flip or flop, sorry. The flip or flop people. Tarek, who is married to the first wife, Christina, they had a bad breakup, but now they're all co-parenting fabulously. And he's married to Heather Ray from Selling Sunset. They're doing a show where they are competing against Christina and her husband.
Oh.
And so they've heard all the comments about, oh my God, Tarek, you married a girl that looks just like your first wife. So now they're making fun of it. They're wearing the same outfits. They're doing promo videos about it.
Wow.
And,
Gotta
people
do
have
it.
types. That's why
I mean, supposedly, speaking of leaning in, though, Will Smith and this new thing with Bad Boys fucking 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on with that movie, right? Bad Boys.
Is it out right now?
I don't
with
even know
Martin-
if it's a movie
Martin
or if
Lawrence?
I'm not sure.
I don't know what it is either. It's a movie, right?
I don't know if it's maybe it's a musical at this point. I honestly don't know. But there's a scene where either Will Smith slaps Martin Lawrence or Martin Lawrence slaps him. And it's like reenacting. And I mean, here's a terrible take that we will then do on the wrong side of the takes. I think that's hilarious. And I think it's a great way to like, what can you do? You're not going to outrun it. You're not, Will Smith will never outrun that.
Never.
So you might as well lean in and, do what you can.
Right.
And get slapped.
That's
You should have
true.
brought in Chris Rock to slap him, and then we would have been full circle.
Ooh.
Well, speaking of lookalikes, Zoom CEO wants to use AI to create digital clones that can attend meetings for you.
Bad idea.
I'm sure this has already been looked into. But what I really want to know is now that we're looking back on who really started COVID, did the creator of Zoom know anybody that was also in that lab that created COVID? Because where was Zoom before COVID?
Exactly.
It was called Skype.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And everybody on earth use Zooms now, from schools to whatever. And so conspiracy theorists, get on that and see if there's some people at the Zoom offices that also
make
in
NC-17 masks or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
Oh, that too.
Because remember those? All of a sudden you need
NC-17.
whatever that mask was called.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you have this one or that one?
You're right.
And
Ooh.
It's not good enough.
Get
and-
4chan on the horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy is like, hey, this way you don't have to be at the. So I'm like, so you don't have to be in the office, but you also don't even have to be at the Zoom meeting. Why? Like, what is the point of you then? If we're not going to get the real person, what is the point?
Put that on a bumper sticker. What is the point of you? Question mark quote. Because what are we doing? People are stressed out that AI and robots are going to take their jobs. AI and robots are already taking over manufacturing. They're already starting to take people's jobs. And now you want to take people out of the meeting?
Yeah.
What are we doing? It needs to come to listen, watch Atlas.
With J-Lo.
Watch Atlas with J-Lo. Start getting into it.
It is the number one. It was the number one movie for 2 weeks on Netflix. And she said, hey, there's a lot of hate in the world, but I thank you for all the love. And they're like, oh, she's pointing. It's getting to her. I'm like, no, that's not getting to her. That's being like, hey, there's a lot. I'm not saying it's about me. I'm not talking about you, meanie pots on the internet. I'm just saying there's a lot of hate in the world. I'm glad that you like the Atlas movement. Thank you for the love that I got. I'm focusing on the positive. And then there was another article that Jennifer Garner posted some poem on her stories, whatever. And they're like, Jennifer Garner's getting involved and hoping that J-Lo and Ben could, make it happen. I'm like, she just did a poem. You don't know if that was, she came across the poem and thought it was beautiful. You don't know if she wanted her best friend who's going through a divorce to see it. You don't know if this was for her kid. You don't know if it was for herself. Like, sometimes you just see something and you're like, that's fucking great or funny or inspiring, and I'm just going to post it. And it's not about you, boo.
Exactly. Or it's not about the person you think it's about.
Yeah.
So you, in fact, have that wrong.
Right.
When I posted the weird thing about a narcissist.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. Figure out who that's about.
But Atlas is about AI. So I'm telling you, like, and look, good that we're talking about J-Lo. The shit's good. She's a good actress. I don't care what anybody says. The bitch is a good actress. You can't deny it. And the movie actually ended up, I started out as a hater because I read so much hate.
Yeah.
There was so much hate. I went into it thinking I was gonna hate watch it. And then I'm sitting at the end of the bed going, I like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's good. It's sci-fi, so whatever. It's not for everyone. Right. But at the end of the day, this makes me uncomfortable. Matrix, AI, robots.
Eric Yuan. Now, he's the CEO. I don't know if he created it.
This is not a good idea.
But I don't know.
This is not a good idea.
I mean,
you need to go to the meeting.
Just made an announcement.
Go to the meeting.
Apple is joining with Chatbox CPT or whatever. And they're literally, Apple's getting like way deep into the AI game. It's like every time you go, hey Siri, it's like, go ahead and get cloned.
And that's what it's heading towards, a migration of. It's scary. I'm glad we're going to be dead when it really all
I keep thinking about that too, but I mean, I have kids and I don't want them to be.
Oh, right.
But I do feel like, well, I do think about a lot about that when I start to get stressed and then I go, but I'll be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an awful way to
It's awful. It's awful. It's awful. It's weird to see the beginning of if anyone is into sci-fi, let's say, right? Those movies and that whole genre is about this in reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in a fantastic, huge, whatever. And it's just weird to be at the very foothill of it. We're watching it be born, but we're not going to be here in 300 years when fucking robots are flying around being like, I'm going to the meeting. You know what I mean?
I do think, though.
It's weird.
I do think there could be something that I could see this happening. Is like a complete revert to no technology. We are going to live in this commune. We're going to make our own food. We don't want to hear about it. We don't want to do it. We don't want to be any part of it. We don't like it. We're going to be reading books. We're going to be putting on plays at this like commune and join our commune and just
or because
you can't compete with it. You're like, forget it. We're just going to go back to actually like making our own food and creating our own businesses, whatever.
Because it's not also a sustainable resource.
Yeah.
So the power will run out. There won't be enough to go around. So people will be like, let's just unplug and go and put fire into lanterns and walk around our commune.
Look how many young people are just like doing like van life and stuff. They're like, we don't care. We are not going to try to like do the corporate ladder or whatever. We're just going to like have fun and enjoy life.
It's definitely going to go back because now at this point when I watch streaming where I'm forced to sit through commercials, I go, it was neat when we could fast forward commercials and now we're back to just watching TV where we can't even fast forward a commercial. Like we've gone literally back in time.
Oh, yeah,
TV-wise.
interesting.
Like when I'm forced to watch a commercial for something that I pay for.
Right.
It's not like I'm getting the streaming for free and then I have to watch the ads. It's like I paid for this and yet here I am stuck watching the commercial or getting up to go to the bathroom. I'm like, this is neat. It's like it's 1988 again.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to go back, like you said.
Yeah. This is a cute couple. 61-year-old Red Hot Chili Peppers frontman Anthony gets cozy courtside with 19-year-old girlfriend Helena in an NBA game. And not only is she 19, but she looks about 13.
I thought that was his daughter.
And he, at 61, looks very young as well.
He does look good.
He looks like he could be, you know, 46.
He does look good.
So he's like fit. He, you know.
I can tell you what he doesn't look like, and that's Anthony Kiedis. I'm shocked that that's even him.
Yeah.
He probably got some work done.
He looks way different.
And he's probably like doing a lot of like, you know, supplements and things. And, but they're holding hands. And I mean, 61 and 19. I was just thinking, like, what? Like, look, this is what happened. I always think about the parents, and I've asked all the girls that when they were with Hef. Like, what are your parents saying? Is it just that it's so old that you're like, this can't last forever? I don't know. Like, what do you do? Like, her mom's probably like 42. It's like, what if the mom was like really young, like not even 50?
I mean, it just
or I always wonder if the mom is like, oh my God, girl, guess who Helena is dating? Who's getting tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers? And then all of her like 45-year-old friends are like,
obsessed.
Hey, girl. And they're like, hey, who cares?
like, this was my senior song. I love this.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, well, how did you guys get into the Red Hot Chili Peppers? They were my favorite band in high school. Oh, my daughter's dating the lead singer. So, I mean, I always think about the parents that benefit from their daughters having a massive age gap relationship with someone who's wealthy. We don't think about that enough.
No, well,
what if
Brandon was with, like, you know, what's that other
Nancy
one?
Wilson from Heart. No.
Yeah.
Or what's not Judi Dench, but the Maggie Taylor. What's the sexy one that's like British who has a good body?
Oh, Helen Mirren
starts dating Cher.
Helen Mirren. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cher has a young boyfriend right now.
Cher's 70.
Has Cher sold her Malibu home? Because every time we pass it, I go, that's Cher's house. And
I
always thought I would have met her by now and hung out at least one day at her house. I know she listed it. I don't know if she sold it. But if AE, who, by the way, last episode I talked about, I kept calling him AI. It's AE for something Edwards. And he used to date Amber Rose, but now he's dating
Cher.
Oh. If they break up, and Brandon or Drake started to date Cher.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't care. Like, I want to hang out with Cher. And then she's all trying to be nice to me because
Heather.
If you believe in love, you know I love Brandon or Drake. And then I'm just like, I've been wanting to hang out at your beautiful Malibu house for years. And if it's through my son dating a gray panther, which is what you call
a gray panther.
It goes Puma, Cougar, Gray Panther.
Gray Panther.
Cher is different because Cher is so cool. I mean, what about even the difference between Cher and Madonna? Because Madonna is...
Would I want my son to date Madonna or Cher?
And are boys and girls different? Or is it the same for a parent? Is it different for a 19-year-old girl to be with a 61-year-old guy than it is for a 18 or 19 or 21-year-old boy to be with a 60 or 70-year-old woman?
I also want to add one thing into the mix.
That?
I say Cher wins no matter what because Cher's cool.
Okay,
I want to do a difference. What if it was Susan Sarandon or Madonna?
Now we're getting into people we like and dislike.
Yes. So then I'm gonna go with Madonna. Also, because I think she's like fun and she's had a more fun life and I have more questions for Madonna when we're hanging out and she's trying to kiss my ass because she likes my son's ass. So when I I'm using it for that. The other thing is, it's a very interesting thing. Well, I do. Here's the other thing, and I've talked a little bit about this. It's like, so let's say you have a son and he's 38, 40. He's never dying to be a dad. he's a good guy, but he never really was super ambitious. He doesn't have a big company. He's always been self-sufficient. He likes to surf. He's a delight bartender, and he knows how to like, fix some shit around the house.
Okay.
He is like, meets a girl. She's 54. She's fit. She's gorgeous. She has a home. She has some bucks.
She has a home.
And obviously she's not going to give him a kid. He doesn't want a kid, but he provides a companionship, a fun thing. And like, would that bother me knowing that he's with a girl that's like close to 20 years older? So now I'm like in my late 60s and he's dating a 54-year-old woman.
But he's like around 40.
He's around 40, but he's, no, I don't think I would care. I think I'd be pretty happy with that, actually. I think I'd be happier with that than him not having his shit together and like knocking up some girl and not being able to provide or not be ready for that. Like, I actually think a guy who's like pushing 40 that needs a home.
Yeah.
And finds a woman
it's a
who
light
has
gold
a home.
digging. It's just gold digging.
It's a reverse gold digging, but it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, because no one is in their early 20s.
And no one's bringing
which is
kids
uncomfortable.
into it.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm all for it. And I think guys are starting to realize that there's a whole plethora
of horny,
in shape,
yes,
early 50s women that can't have kids and don't want them.
And they're all on Bravo.
They're all on Bravo.
And they're all on Ozempic.
They all have good work and they all have Ozempic.
Yeah.
So they don't cost a lot.
They take care of themselves.
Yeah.
They don't need your money. They're looking for companionship, sex, fun.
One fillet of salmon
support.
will cover both of you.
Great.
Because she's not eating a lot.
Not eating a lot, but you just, your job, sir.
Yeah.
You be there.
Yeah.
You be a support. You don't cheat. And you do
some work around
satisfy the lady.
But then as the lady, you're dealing with someone that you don't want to turn into a squatter. So inviting him into your vagina and your home, you need to make sure that you don't then masculate him to the point where you're like, oh, my man knows how to pay the bills. My man is buying a business for us. Yeah. No, girlfriend. No. You control all your money.
Right.
And if it means you give him an allowance, give him an allowance.
Yeah, fine.
We don't need an entrepreneur. Out to masculate someone that biggest job was, detailing a car.
No.
Yeah.
So there's my advice.
I think
good
that's
advice.
Great.
Yeah, it can work.
But Brandon, Susan Sarandon, it's going to be a no-go.
Yeah, no.
So don't
she's just not going to fit into the family. You know what I mean?
Christine Quinn. Now, this is a beautiful girl from Selling Sunset who had the husband. They had the horrible incident happen where he threw a bag of glass at her and it hit their small child who turned out to be fine. But she is like, she got a restraining order. And she's like, right now, I don't want him. She's demanding that he have no contact with the kids. Well, she just said that someone was walking around her property and it's somebody that he is very close to and has taken photos with. So now she accused him of sending this person to spy on her, which is a violation of the restraining order. He's turned into be a real nightmare.
I mean,
what should she do?
Yeah,
she's gonna rejoin Selling Sunset. She was just photographed with one of the tiny twins and a bunch of the girls, and she I don't know if they're filming right now, but it very much I think that would. I know they just finished filming that season that hasn't come out yet, and I don't know if she's on that, but I think the next season she will be back on. Which she should. And then we get to see her be single.
I think it's a great idea for her to be back.
Yeah.
I was like, when she left, I was like, nah, I kind of felt like the spark left too, for me.
Yeah.
I missed her. But at the point of this, I'm moving in. She can't go to New York because she's on Selling Sunset. But if I wasn't on Selling Sunset, one, I'd move to New York and I'd move to a building with a doorman.
Right.
Because nobody cares if you live in a building in New York. That's the thing to do. Here, I mean, you'd have to move into a building. I would not be in a house surrounded by trees with lurkers in the trees spying on me. I mean, it's everybody can get everybody's address. It's just too and
what are we doing
dangerous.
with these stalkers? What are we doing? Baby reindeer, this guy. What are we going to do? Like, you know what? Why don't the Zoom guy, why don't you figure that out? Not worry about who's at the meeting. Why don't we worry about this problem?
If you want to be a stalker, but you don't have time to be a stalker, you could get an AI person to stalk too.
Like,
That's what he's going to invent.
People are even too lazy to stalk. They have to do their AI stalk. No, we wish. Okay, what? What is their name? Kim Zolciak and Kroy Biermann. I don't really know what's going on with them. Now they're in the same house together because they can't afford to leave, and nobody wants to leave. So they fight about. She's always calling the cops, saying that like. He won't let her in the closet, and she has a handbag that she wants to look at.
She has full hair and makeup and is like in the body cam. She like leans down and is like, "Did you get me? He has my phone." And it's like the thirst is real. As Nene said, it wasn't even about Kim, but on Atlanta, the thirst is very real. Like, is anybody who's still invested in this at this point?
No,
I'm not. I put it in my thing, and I kind of like got bored.
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
do they want?
It's like,
they're not going to be back on Bravo, right? Do they want a spinoff? Do they want a YouTube
They were
show?
seen filming something. I don't know. I'm over it too.
They must.
The daughter's getting married. The older one is getting married.
Oh God,
Brielle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, you're right. I don't really care anymore.
Well, I mean, it wasn't.
You know what? It's kind of like the same way I feel about Meghan Markle. I was going to say the Markles. Meghan Markle and Harry. Like, I just don't care. I don't care. I don't care what they do. Or the momentum is gone.
Yeah,
gone.
Like, I don't care. They were saying, oh, if she was to lose her title, she would become, or some title, she'd be Princess Henry. I'm like, what? Princess Henry? And it's because, do you know that Harry's real name is Henry?
No.
He was born Henry.
By his real dad? Or
You know why? It's because there's no end game. There's no end game
they
for
never
the Markles.
they never had one.
Yeah.
If the Markles' end game was getting back to England, I would be back paying attention to every detail.
Yep.
If I knew Kim and Kroy's end game, whether it be Bravo, YouTube, I would be like, okay. I mean, I still pay attention to the stories, but I just am like, I'm not invested because I don't understand what they're getting at or why they're doing it.
Yeah.
We know it isn't true. We know it's inauthentic.
Right.
I mean, a bigger question as we talk about, where reality TV is today, it is so different because it used to be, we wanted to see an insight into people's lives, whether it was these women in Orange County and, oh my God, we get to see their homes and stuff. Now everybody shares every moment of their life on Instagram. And then these things are 6 months out. We've all seen it play out on social media. And then everybody is pissing off the Bravo people I almost feel like the only way to do reality TV again is if you said part of it is you cannot have Instagram, you cannot have social media, and you cannot have a podcast, and you cannot talk about it. And if you want to do it, we're going to film it, and the turnaround has to be quicker. They've got to hire more editors
With people,
so
can I
that
tell you,
within like 3 months of like finishing, it's out.
With People's Couch, we turned those episodes around in a week.
Yeah.
So I think you're 1,000% right. I think it should be both. I think it should be Bravo should not allow anyone to even do podcasts or have one unless it's through Bravo. So Bravo can keep the intellectual property and keep the money, which they want to do. And then they should turn them around in a week, almost like it's live,
I mean, I'm not saying to take business away from people, but I think there has to be something like to keep it that it's like exciting and we're watching something.
We just find everything out.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's part of they're scrambling. Countess Luann did a great article for the Bustle. I love men.
What if I wanted to
sex.
date Brandon or Drake? Because I love men and I love sex. I mean, what about her?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I disagree with this. But she would say, like she did say one thing like, go find a guy at Bed Bath & Beyond. I'm like, first of all, didn't they all close? I think
those are gone.
I think she meant Home Depot.
Those are gone.
Yeah, and if they're at Bed Bath & Beyond, aren't they married or?
Yeah, or at Home Depot. But even if you're going to those places, may I inquire as to how a woman would? I can imagine myself.
Okay.
At Home Depot.
Yeah.
Okay. Diking through the aisles, or let's just say I'm a regular lady, but I'm thinking of my own self. I walk through the aisles. I need light bulbs. I need screws. And
well,
I
then
need
the first thing you're doing is finding the person in the orange vest, and you're like, where's this one screw that I need? And they're like, it's over on 27B.
Okay, so
what
now
I'd
I
like
go
is
to
another kind of screw. Do you
mean,
have time to screw, darling?
Is that what we're doing? The guy
Money
in the red
can't
shirt?
buy me nails, but you could nail me. Just like constant like sexual puns.
Just the whole time? Do you know where the paper
Darling.
towels
I like
are?
to be hammered hard. I'm looking for a, what do you call it? A bed? Wait, a headboard? Wait.
Headboard?
Yeah, I need a new headboard.
I don't think I need to say why. Mine's broken. I mean, what are we doing at Home Depot? I get being at a bar. I get being at a steakhouse. I get being at places where men are. But at a store, I don't understand how you're approaching that situation. What are you doing? Are you going up to some guy?
I mean,
Is that a thing?
She is a social animal. Heather is too. They're big flirts. I'm a big flirt. I think I could
No,
make it.
I'm not a big flirt. I never.
Well, I am. I could make it happen. In
I
a Home
actually
Depot
get
line.
really
Easy.
weird and nervous if a guy like hits on me, and I got hit on the after
Last
the Mark
night
no
at the
after,
Marky Mark thing.
after the Marky Mark thing. We came back to the hotel, and Peter was like giving the info to the valet or whatever, and there was a wedding outside, and I heard them say, "And now the maid of honor is going to speak." So I went right out to the restaurant to like eavesdrop on this wedding. And these two guys came, and this one goes, "Wow, you're super pretty." And I go, "Oh, thank you." But my heart like starts beating. Like I don't know why. It makes me like very nervous. And so then went back to the lobby. He was in the lobby, and then I found Peter, and he saw me walking. He didn't realize with Peter, and he saw me walking. Like, oh my god, is this girl gonna like come back and like talk to me? And he was probably like 40-ish, just like I said. Probably needed a home. And was like rich lady in a short pantsuit. Had shorts and a blazer. So and then I went to Peter but it like threw me.
If they don't hit on you, I think it's much easier to flirt if they don't give me attention. I can be like, I can be conversational and flirt, but then the second somebody's like into me, it's like, well, now we're in a whole different situation here because now
it's like weird. It like sort of scares me.
But
something.
we saw guys blatantly trying to get with you at the hotel or the club we went. You get a lot of male attention.
The male gaze is on you. I mean, you don't notice it. I mean, I know. As an outsider looking in with regular women, I always see what's going on, and I just don't. I guess if for normal late women, it would be easy because they're just there for you. I mean, I guess that's the thing. They're just there for you, waiting for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I guess if they're at Home Depot, that's a good
at
time
Bed
to
Bath
strike.
and Beyond, I would be scared that someone's got their wedding ring in their pocket.
Right.
But thank you anyway, Luann. I mean, you know.
Well, what about Home Depot?
Well, she didn't say Home Depot, but I mean, at Home Depot, I mean, you just
Again,
don't know.
aren't
But
we
there's definitely a lot of
married?
men there. But
a lot of men going to do stuff that's on their list from
For
their
their
wife.
wives.
Yeah.
Right.
We still don't know what's going on with Trista Stutter. People just think that she did Special Forces.
Oh.
Okay, well.
She's missing. Who cares?
Okay.
she's missing. Doesn't matter.
This was kind of funny. This hiker found a secret water pipe supplying China's tallest waterfall, forcing officials to apologize for misleading tourists.
Classic China.
So, like, everyone's
Classic.
climbing up to
They
see
probably
this
ordered
waterfall.
that waterfall on Amazon. And they said, we thought this was going to be a real waterfall, but we got it on Amazon, and now it's just a
They
fake.
said, hey, sometimes I need a little beautification and sometimes I need a little help. They like did it like from the point of view of the waterfall. And so they were like, sorry, you know, it was a little dry this season, so we just added to it.
Right. I will say, you know, when we've talked about the things we love on Instagram, one of some of our favorite things, such as dogs meeting their military people after 2 years.
Yes.
Babies hearing, babies seeing.
Which, by the way, Marky Mark, if this is not already in the works, needs to do a movie about military dogs. You're welcome. You can do it at your studio in Nevada
He would
after
be
you
good for
come
that.
to my show in September at the
would be
Venetian.
good for
Okay,
that.
continue. So what else? Go.
So we share a love
Yeah.
for those videos.
Yeah.
Another one, I don't know if you share the love as I do for another set of videos are places in China where people go for tourism that are so insanely high and have no floor. So there's all these places, and they're in China, that are so incredibly insane that they've
like
built.
You're walking like a bridge or something.
But there's a glass, but you can see through it, and people fall. Or it's shaky.
They walk across a huge glass bridge, which is already insanely high, and then they go, "Let's crack it." And there's a fake crack that goes through where it's shattering. And then they're like, oh, and they start, and they're traumatized for life because the glass bridge they're standing on starts
But it's
shatter.
not real.
No. But then, or there's other ones such as
evil.
A huge hand that's splayed. It's like on the top of a mountain, and a huge arm is in it, and you can walk to the fingertip. And then it's all weird. And it's all in China. Check it out.
Oh, my God. Terrifying.
Yeah.
This video was from BFF Real. I think that this is who did it. Or Jesse E. Jess. I don't know. Someone sent it to me. And it's all about when Justin Bieber was younger and how women and James Corden was very inappropriate. Ellen as well. And all these clips put together from Jenny McCarthy, like he won an award and she like is attacking him and he just turned 18 and he's like, I think I feel a little violated, like being funny. I've talked about when he came on our show, nobody touched him. We did this weird sketch, myself with Jen and Sarah, and we acted like we were like, hey, we're wearing like these slutty outfits and like kept coming around and stuff. And I don't know that Chelsea was ever like weird, but he was such a heartthrob. It was just a low hanging fruit joke for talk shows to do. And 15 years ago, nobody thought about how inappropriate and gross it was that he was just a young boy and we shouldn't constantly be like sexualizing him because we think that's funny. And then James Corden went and smelled him and was like, you smell great. How old are you? And he goes, I'm 16. I'll be 17 in 2 weeks. And he's like, I wish I smelled that good. I never smelled that good when I was 16. And then he like touched his face. And then it was like something with Leah Remini. And I'm not criticizing any of those people. I'm saying everybody sat around a writer's room and thought that was funny and thought it was fine. And I want to apologize to Justin Bieber because it was wrong. It was wrong and it is wrong and it's gross.
And that's the video that will come back and haunt you if you ever join Housewives.
Well, that's why I'm putting it out now, Bo Deedle. You don't need to look up that sketch of where I was in a red skimpy outfit being like, hey, Justin.
And I'm not saying on our next podcast called Heather Said This Last Night, where we go, baby girl, we got the video. Baby girl. She touched Justin's name, Justin Bieber.
Jason
Bieber. She touched him, baby girl.
Justin Bieber. Anyway,
it's James Corden's the only one who needs to feel bad about it.
Here's another thing that's happening. This is from Daily Mail, Cut Magazine. I don't know who came up with this. Is from Diet Prada. It was a great Instagram account. How hot rodent men become Hollywood's sexiest heartthrob. Gen Z fans are going wild for actors with unusual features, including the guy from The Saltburn, who I did not think was cute, and I thought he looked so old. I'm like, how is this guy 20? He looks 40. And then there was the two other guys, the ones in the Challenger movie.
The ones from The Bear.
What is the Challenger movie about? So Zendaya plays tennis and has a threesome with two rodent-like 20-somethings, and they all bone together.
She becomes a tennis coach.
For two guys that she screws both, and then all three of them get in the bed?
I don't know if there's a threesome, but it's definitely like a sex movie. There was a threesome movie when I was very young that involved Stephen Baldwin, who's now like a super Christian. It's called Threesome. Isn't it called Threesome?
Yeah. And it's about a girl who liked both guys, and they're in college, and then finally at the very end, they show all three of them in the bed. I cannot believe this was a regular movie. So she's in between them. And then Stephen Baldwin, then the one guy reaches around to touch Stephen Baldwin's butt. And Stephen then like grabs it and is like, I like this. Stephen Baldwin's going to be mad that I'm reminding everybody of this movie.
And on the movie poster, they were all three in bed. Like she was in the middle and the two guys were on the side in the movie poster.
But you know what? I think those type of things did normalize threesomes. Like we saw it, I was like, oh, I guess this is happening.
Remember that movie called Casual Sex? There was another movie called Casual Sex, which was a comedy. It was like a sex comedy.
That's with what's his name?
It was really funny.
Really funny.
Like I
really
feel like
funny.
I like
Victoria.
Yeah, that girl,
Victoria,
the blonde
who's now insane from SNL. The girl from what's her name? The 80s girl. I can't remember anybody's name.
Well, either
and
way,
the comedian guy who was Italian and
it normalized even that.
Can't remember his name.
You know, the 80s. That was when it was like
it's a good movie.
But I recently said to somebody, why
Leah Thompson.
Why are people finding these two guys hot in this Challenger movie? But I guess that's the thing. People find them. This is a new look. This is a new look that I definitely want to say, like Gen Z everywhere. There's the traditional, like what my generation would find attractive that you'd see in like a John Hughes film. But then there's a broad of like, wow, okay. I don't know. It's interesting.
I think
it's an interesting change
for young people. I mean, the fact that they call these guys rodent, that's another level. But
I know who wrote that. Did a 20-something write that? That's not very nice.
I think there's a thing with young girls where, like, let's take for example, I always bring up Dawson's Creek.
Yeah,
you know, James Vanderbeek became this heartthrob, and I remember being like,
yeah, he wasn't traditionally hot.
No. Or hot at all. And it was like, all these young girls think he's hot because they're told he's hot.
Yeah.
So, and especially in Saltburn,
and he's
that's a very sexual movie.
Yeah. And he's acting as he's hot.
Yeah. So
but like,
if you don't
I feel
have
like a James Dean looking person is attractive for the last 100 years.
Yeah.
Like that's just given. But you're right. Attractiveness changes. Okay. Padma Laksmi. Am I saying it wrong? Laksmi.
Padma Laksmi.
Who is so gorgeous. She has never felt better about her body, and she's released a lingerie collaboration with Bare Necessities on Thursday. But
good for fucking
she
her.
also said she's a stand-up comic now. And she's doing stand-up comedy, and, you know, the thing is when you're famous like that, you can just go do it and people are going to come see you. You don't have to like try to get 10 minutes and, you know.
You can hire a writer.
Yeah, right. You could hire a writer. Yeah. You could practice it. You could, you know, you could pretend that you're the woman in Hacks. Like, what's her name again?
Jean Smart.
Jean Smart. She's not a stand-up, but you believe that she's a stand-up because somebody wrote it and she acts like a stand-up. Like, you could just act like a stand-up now. And you could I don't think you can do an hour, but I think you could do a solid 10 minutes with the help of it.
Out of everyone on Top Chef, and admittedly I haven't watched it in a while, but Gail and Tom Colicchio were the funny ones. I mean, Gail was the funniest one. Padma Laksmi, she's beautiful, but she does talk very slow.
Mm-hmm. This is
She's
what I
not
think
giving stand-up.
This is what I think. I think people are fans of stand-up, but they don't realize how big a fan they are until the last few years, because this, just like documentaries, I never saw a documentary growing up. I used to watch the Oscars and they'd be like, and the winner for best documentary. And I used to think, where would I see this documentary? I have no idea. Are they playing at the AMC? Where are these documentaries being seen? Now everybody is a crime specialist or whatever, because we've all watched so many documentaries. But also stand up. I feel like there's so many people that are stars that are like, oh my God, I love the way these people are talking. I could do this too. Like, you think you could do it too. And then you're like, I want to do this. I want to do it. And it's okay. Go do it. But it never lasts. It never lasts. Like, you do a little bit, but then it's like you'll have a couple good nights where it's like stacked and your person is there. And then you'll realize, wait a minute, like, okay, so what's my next story? And what's that, you know, and you'll realize it just doesn't last. So I don't know how long she tried, but she looks great in the lingerie. And I what do you think more women would rather do?
Look good in the lingerie.
Do stand up or get in lingerie? No, you just have to be yourself.
Oh.
If I went on the streets, if I was doing one of those things, I'd be like, you either have to walk up and do 15 minutes of stand up in front of at least 100 people, or you have to walk around in lingerie.
This is like asking, and I do this.
Yeah.
Because I love to make men uncomfortable.
Yeah.
At parties when they're having fun. I love to say, would you rather have a micro penis or be blind?
Ooh.
And they get horrified. and it's like the worst question ever asked, and now you have duplicated it for women. Because 15 minutes in front of over 100 people or getting in lingerie, and then for just one other person, or lingerie down the city streets?
Lingerie for the 15 people.
I'm taking kill at that point.
For the 100 people.
No.
Well, maybe she'll do stand up in the lingerie.
That's what I was thinking.
And definitely people will come because she's gorgeous.
Like the naked show that people do.
Oh, right. There is a stand up show where people have to be naked.
Yeah.
I find that so weird.
So weird.
Like that is just
all you're doing is look. I mean, it's like when somebody's boobs are out in a scene. It's like, I don't know what you're saying because all I'm doing is zeroing in on your boobs.
I went to the best comedy show. It was hilarious. They were so funny. It was just like, it didn't matter that they were naked. Who said that?
I want to say somebody recently told me that happened.
Ridiculous.
At some festival or something. No, it was the Netflix thing. Somebody walked out.
Was it Natasha Leggero?
No, it was not Natasha. It was recently. This guy came out, and then like halfway through the act, his just dick was out, and the Netflix people were like, "Oh no, I know what it was." This guy said he brought some people, advertisers, to a comedian show during the Netflix festival here in LA. And the comedian, to see other comedians, and one of the comedians came out and the dick was out for so long. And the guy was like, and then the people just like wanted to leave. Like they just are like, I didn't come here to like look at a naked dick. I would die if I went to go see a comedy club show and I just had to like see a dick just like swinging around.
Like, what are we doing here now? Now what are you doing? Because you want us all to look at your dick? Now, or I don't care if it's your puss, I don't care if it's your tits.
It's just like the shock
value.
At
this point, like, you know what? I just what? Because that's all you have.
Yeah,
you don't have any comedy. You don't have anything to say. All you have is you want to go, and then you know that person's going to go and be like, I like to go and make the audience have to think twice about nudity and the human form. It's like, go fuck yourself. That's not what you're doing. You're not doing an art installation. You're not doing a thing about the human form. You're not doing anything about the body. You're not desensitizing us to dicks and balls and titties.
Normalizing.
You're not normalizing anything, actually. If you normalize something, then I guess you'd give a TED Talk in your naked body and you would talk about bodies and you would talk about whatever. But you're not. You're out there trying to do comedy with your dick out.
So Heather,
all I want to do is pull your dick and throw it
sheer
in the
top
toilet.
that you wanted to wear. Your Bianca outfit. It's not going to fly when you're in Tampa, okay? So,
girls, I love you. Thanks. Tell everybody where they can find you again.
JulieandBrandy.com. That's where all information is. We got a free podcast on Tuesdays, Dumb Gay Podcast.
Our naked podcast is on Friday.
Yeah. On Wednesdays, we have a Patreon, Wrong Side of the Takes. Check it out. Love you, Hev.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye.